r/sex workers. Sudden Lifeguard 698 says, "This is a joke, right?" Included photo. Fab Hooker Life says, "This has to be a intro. Did they text you from a legit number?" Lula Violets says, r/cleaned cringe, these men just want reactions and need to be in jail. Weasel 699 says, "There used to be a YouTuber who would visit some sites and record himself trolling girls. This could be something like that." Sudden Lifeguard 698 says, "When I look up the number, there's other reports of the exact same thing going back months now." Msheribaby007 says, "I had a 16-year-old text me and I told him 1, he lied on age verification to even access these websites, and 2, I don't PE children." Sudden Lifeguard 698 says, "Sadly, this isn't the first time that I have had something like this happen." Upstairs Cut 83 says, "What if he really has a child or a nephew he thinks rape is a joke? Yes, an adult having intercourse with a minor is rape." Disho45 says, "I hope he's trolling because my faith in humanity went down." r/sex workers. Classihable says, "How do sex workers pay taxes? How can I be legit and pay taxes?" Msheribaby007 says, "Just get a tax professional. Doesn't matter, it's technically illegal. Prostitution is illegal in most areas I'm aware. Envy has brothels, but you can legally file as an escort if you want to, or a content creator of model or really anything. If you want to get really legit with it, go to Envy and find someone who does the brothel/escorts taxes." Prestigious Book 253 says, "This was my question too, lol. I found a tax guy to help me file them. Basically, as a escort I'm self-employed, so I have to report what I made and what I spent on biz expenses like condoms, work, cell phone, and then it all goes on a tax form. It's a little over my head, but I'm getting some money back, so that's good." Noctish says, "Depends. You can either do self-employment, Schedule C plus Schedule SE on a 1040, and report your expenses and income there. Keep it vague and categorize yourself as a contractor/consultant/freelancer/etc. Or set up a business through an LLC and pay yourself with a yearly W2 or an owner's drawer after pulling money from the LLC's bank accounts with taxes already taken out. This is a little more complicated, but better if you want certain tax benefits and advantages, like accepting credit card payments from clients. Again, you report all this on your tax return. And always pay your estimated taxes. Quarterly is best. Happy to answer more questions if you have any." Diamigdadi says, "So there are a few different ways to do this, and you probably should not listen to anybody in this thread, because I see a lot of nonsense here and shit that will get you caught up. While tax documents collected by the IRS are not publicly disclosed, and other law enforcement bodies are indeed quite separate entities. M. That's not to say admitting so openly on tax documents can't bring an immense amount of pain and suffering into life. I would recommend consulting with a person who understands small businesses and how that might be able to work in your situation. Everyone's going to be different. For clarity, when I say don't listen to anyone in this subreddit, I'm including myself. Dior and DD, take some time to learn about business law and tax code for yourself. Isn't the whole point to never have to depend on anybody?" Following Popular Girl says, "I file a 1099 Schedule C, self-employed, as an entertainer, and claim everything I put into my bank. But if you don't have dependents and are going to claim a lot of money, you might consider going the LLC route and pay yourself a paycheck to get a W2. Jazzy says, "TurboTax. My income is anything I deposit into my bank account, and TurboTax specifies in categories what is allowed to be deducted. I also have an LLC and business bank account. DRV 52908 says, I filed as self-employed and claimed whatever hit my bank, wrote off expenses from my bank statements, and I paid federal and state taxes. I don't make a hell of a lot, and I'm not trying to buy a house, just want that sweet health insurance. Eater, I filed as an artistic consultant. r/SexWorkers. See ad 5248 says, Swers, how much do you care about tear? I have always hated it. I offer massage light fetish mostly, and the hobbyists in my area for massage that use tear are often the trashiest of clientele and harsh critics. I have some decent escort reviews massage, and some mediocre massage dude reviews. My regular and favorite clients some I've seen for years don't leave reviews because they aren't on review boards, don't use them, don't want to, and I have to hound them down for a review. They never do, BC they forget, or don't want to, I feel gross, and aside from harassing them, I don't know what to do. Should I even care? Do you care? Puzzle Related Ask 7502 says, in my area it appears that basically no one uses tear. There are effectively no reviews for any local providers, and if there are, they are very few or years old. Tear and USask, sites like that, attract the hobbyists, which I've found to be the least respectful, most entitled, and insanely critical. A lot of forums I've seen make it appear as if the only acceptable providers to these guys are bombshells who have impeccable and immediate communication and offer their services. Good reviews are very far and few between, which makes me think that the issue probably isn't the providers. I've found that my best clients are the ones who highly value discretion, which tends to lead to a higher level of respect in my opinion. These guys do not be posting on these boards. A lot of my clients are new idiots, so a lot don't even know about the review boards, but overall it doesn't seem to be highly valued in my area, otherwise there would be more reviews. So basically, I think in part it depends on your area, whether it's important or not. I know a ton of providers who are delisting from tear recently for a multitude of reasons, so it appears to be becoming less important. If you're getting shit clients from tear, then I would say who cares, right? Even when my regulars have left good reviews on forums for me, the majority of those on the site say it's BS because it's positive, so it's whatever to me at this point. Msheribaby007 says, I'm in DC, and I've never used tear, and I don't plan to start. The original owner created it for clients by clients. And then he went to prison for trying to hire a hitman to kill an escort after doxing her to her family. In short, frick that site and everything they stand for. It was also very well known in the 2005 to 2010 you could literally be contacted by a tear mod that would try to frick you for free to keep/get 5-star reviews. You also can only get a 5-star in service if you debear. ThinNewKid 1980 says, I mean, I used to use it when I first got into the industry, but the more I used it the more I found guys like to exaggerate more times than not just to get a free 2 weeks for posting a review. 1. If I didn't get FS, I was forced to grade lower than I felt the provider gave. For example, I see a lot of FBSM girls, so FS isn't something I'm really looking for. I want the massage experience. And if they gave a 10 in that genre it was a 10. But nope. I was required to rate it less because it wasn't FS. 2. If I didn't give a detailed story of the entire event, it took 2 or 3 tries to get the review approved. I never liked to kiss and tell, because what I got didn't necessarily mean the next guy is going to get the same thing. I don't need to be telling what I got if maybe she doesn't offer that service to everyone. It's fine if she does, but it should be up to her and not a review saying yeah, she does this 3. Reviews oftentimes can be used as evidence if they fall into the wrong hands. While yes, they can technically be held as hearsay in court, they can still paint a target on the back of some of our favorite ladies, giving cause for let to investigate further. So now if a provider asks to be reviewed, I just tell I will be happy to, but it will be a very plain vanilla review ending with a recommendation. Ethic Thoughts says, I do not care about or for it at all. I don't want hobbyists as clients, and I do just fine financially without allowing tear reviews. Siad5248 says, this makes sense. It's kind of how I feel like, well, screw these hobbyists, they are cheap, difficult and unpleasant most of the time, and I get a lot of repeats. There's one board in particular I encourage bad reviews for me because I don't want any of them to see me, lol. They also seems unfairly skewed to a certain type of provider. I get enough clients anyway, but every year or so I'll go look at them and worry, lol. I have a bunch of great reviews on M, randomly, no idea if they are even real or if anyone uses it. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.